Hey guys, so I haven't done one of these videos in a while where I take you along with me. Thought this would be a good trip to do so on. Left my house a few hours ago, headed up to Middlebury to pick up a 37-foot open range fifth wheel going to Grand Terrace, California. So I did just put the diesel exhaust fluid injector in because I was using a whole lot of DEF, and then I also, that didn't clear my code up that I was having, the P249D along with some others, but that was the one that kept coming up religiously, and that kept leading back to the Bank 1 NOx, the NOx sensor. So I went ahead and replaced that whenever I got home, and since then I have I think I've put about 1,600 miles, 1,600 miles on it, and about 150 to 200 miles of that was towing. I pulled an empty gooseneck, loaded up a truck, took it 2 hours to get 2 hours with just the empty gooseneck, 2 hours with a 3/4 ton Dodge on, and then I unloaded the 3/4 ton Dodge and went 2.5 hours home. So it wasn't like a heavy load, but it was towing, and the light never came back on. So I'm hoping I got that fixed. If I make it out to California and back and the light doesn't come back on, I'll feel like I got it nailed down. But also in the morning I'm going to look around and try to find a toolbox, because I've had one of the black plastic, I don't know what you call them, the one that's got the handle on one end, the rollers on the other. I've had that thing for about 1.5 years, and it had been an absolute trooper. I think it's one of the Huskies you get at Home Depot. It had been great, but its days have run out. It is just all to pieces now, so I'm going to try to find me an aluminum toolbox to go back there and maybe get some shots of putting it in and some ideas that I've got about how to. I'm not going to get it nailed down perfect first day. I just need it back there to keep my stuff out of the weather, and then after that I will try to work it out and get it a little bit better the way I want it whenever I get home the next time. But get on up here and find my toolbox in the morning, get hooked up, and get headed to Cali. This camper has got a battery box over here. That's what this is. It also has a battery box over here. What this is, and this is just a vent tube venting the battery fumes out. And if you notice, this and this are the same cable that comes around. Those are just to connect the batteries together when you put them in. This is just a ground, so I know I'm not going to use that side. I need to use this side over here, because here are the leads going to this big switch box over here in the corner. So, or whatever you want to call it, call it a switch box. But I'm going to hang this back there. Grab my battery and set it right in there. Take my negative. Hook it up. Positive most times got these things on. Be careful, you'll pull the ends off of the cables. Run it around here. Positive. See it kind of arcs off a little bit. Most of them will do that. I do all this before I ever get started hooking up, and I'll just set that back down like that. It's just in transport. The first thing I do is walk around and check the outside of the trailer for any kind of damages, and I've already done that. Then I put my battery in here. I put my battery box back here so it stays out of the way. And now I'm done in here. So and on these open ranges, they have the little adjusters right here. I always tighten up all of those T-bolts so they don't fall out the one down the road. The control panel should be right in this first door right here, and it is. And here's the directions. The reason I'm doing this is every one of these are different. and I'm gonna try to start getting videos. You see the lights are on in here, make sure and cut that off. It'll run your battery dead. If you cut the truck off overnight, it'll drain the batteries on the truck. But to turn this on, you get both of these, the power light comes on, and then just up and down. So next thing I'm gonna do is just eyeball it, make sure that I'm high enough I'm not gonna hit anything in the bed, and then I can lower it back down when I get closer to the hitch. It'll be plenty low enough. It should raise up just a little bit on it as I go underneath it and squat and push the top down. Lock this down. Drop the pin right in there and lock it. Make sure this is completely untangled. You do not want this pulling out while you're plugged into your truck. Right there. And there's your breakaway. That's all there is to that. And these lights, most of the time there's a switch underneath here. I always check, make sure these lights aren't on, because you want to make sure you got everything in this thing turned off. A lot of times if you get where you're going and you can't find, you don't see this cord hanging down, they roll the cord up and put it up in here, and it'll look like it doesn't have a cord. But if you look up in here, most of the time that's where your cord's at. Plug in right here. Make sure this cable is going to be out of the way where it's not going to get pinched or damaged in any way. And close the tailgate. Now we'll come back in here. We're going to push the down button. We're going to bring the landing gear all the way up. These are more aggravating because they have these bars on them, but they're still not bad. Just make sure you twist these T's down so you don't lose them going down the road. I won't get charged for anything. I'll raise the rest of them up. What I had to do on that other side, always keep you a good squeeze tool. Vice grips, something like this. I like these because they got the little rubber pads on them. And I had to pull this out. And because I don't have anybody to hold it for me, pull it out and squeeze it down on that rod to keep it from going back up so you can get both hands under it and lift. When I get in the truck after getting hooked up, you know, I haven't checked it out. I haven't torqued my wheels yet, and I haven't did a final walk around of it. I did walk around it and took pictures before I started. But the first thing I do when I get in, check your brakes. Make sure that they're working, and I'll go ahead and turn them all the way up, because chances are when they put these things together from the factory, they don't adjust the brakes on most of them, and you can turn it up to 10, you won't have any kind of brakes. So once I get moving, I'm going to hit those brakes. And this one actually has brakes, so I adjust those accordingly after I get pulled out and get everything else checked out. Yeah. Back out and look at the lights. I see every light in the house is on, and that's not good. Check for open windows. Check for any signs of damages, which I don't see anything. Make sure all the lights are working, the reflectors are there. If there is a
cap for these. I put them on. If there's not a cap, I just document it. All the lights seem to be working. I put my tag up there because I was standing all that water. I'll put it down on the screws later on after I get left. Yeah, I think it's fine up there during the daytime, but if I'm gonna be around tonight, I'll put it down there under the light. All the lights are working, and I'm not seeing any signs of damages, so I think we're good to go. Like I say, like these little T's, 2,000 miles later, those things will be gone, so make sure and tighten them up. Here's my airbag controller, and I've pulled quite a few of these, and every one of them I just kind of, one reason I like having this, I can inch it up and down till I find a sweet spot, but the last few that I pulled have been pretty good. Those are presets. That was preset, I think, at 15 and 25, and the last few of these I pulled, the sweet spot was at 30, so I'm gonna start there. You can hear the compressor kicking on, and that should have me good to go on my air. Hey guys, today I'm in Klein's Corner, New Mexico. The trailer I just hooked up, I had already taken it out. I had some technical issues on my phone and actually got full, wouldn't let me record any more video, so I tried to clear that up, and I went out and delivered that one. It was easy in, easy out on the delivery. I know a lot of the guys are interested in the money part. You know, I was whenever I was watching these videos before I ever started this a year and a half ago, and I try to give a little bit of a breakdown every now and again, but I don't want to get too technical about it because finances are different. But the easiest thing that I can think of to do is before anything, I'll tell you what the load paid, and then how much fuel I spent in it, and the rest is up in there. The truck payment, the insurance, and all that stuff. That last load that I just hooked up, it paid $38, $32, $72, and I used right around $750 in fuel. So that left me, I don't have a calculator on it, take the one number from the other. I've got into doing the southern route. Now that was a CDL load. That was a heavy trailer. Not as heavy as the one I got now. That's another thing. To make the better money, you're going to put more wear and tear on your truck. The trailers are going to be heavier. If you're getting one that pays a better rate, it's because it's a heavier trailer. But if I'm putting $3,000 a week in the bank pretty much every week, I'm happy with that. And that covered my fuel out, and then I did headed back. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. When I drove 18-wheeler for 15 years, and I had $4,000 weeks, $5,000 weeks, but they weren't consistent. And that's why I like doing this so much, is because now I hear other drivers talk, and see them sitting waiting on a load. Usually they're waiting on that perfect load, but it's just worked out for me since I've been here. When I'm on my way back, I start looking at the load board, and I find something within 24 hours. They don't want you to take anything over 24 hours out. I find something getting me where I want to go, which is normally right back down around the Los Angeles area. I like that, coming down and hitting 40 and going across, and I go right back the same way. Last time I went back on 70 because I was around with another guy that hadn't been that way, and I would prefer just come right straight back across here, stop to Big Texan, get a steak. It's just my preferred way of going. But yeah, that gives you an idea of what, if you don't have a CDL and you're starting to do this, that's not going to be accurate. All the loads pay different. I just kind of start searching for I look to make sure it's going around the area that I want to go, and make sure that it's going to be something that's going to pay out as good as it can. And I wait, and usually every time before I get to the yard or back to Middlebury, something has came up going to put me right around the ballpark of what I want to do. It may not be paid that good every time, but after I deliver this one, I'll give them a little breakdown on it. another thing I wanted to kind of touch on is, if you're going to do this, I'm pretty sure they're truck wide. I know the Dodges take them. I know the Chevrolets take them. I got on Amazon and got a box of these fuses. These little JK fuses. I'll leave a link to them in the description. I got on Amazon, bought a box of those, because as soon as you may have the best truck in the world, when you hook up to a trailer that's got jacked up wiring or a short, it doesn't happen all the time, it doesn't happen often, but I give more of these things away than I use myself. I think I've had to replace like 3. It's the same fuse for on the Chevrolet, the 2018 Chevrolet. It's the same for your battery charge, you know, it keeps your battery charged that way going down the road. It's also the same for your backup lights, if I remember correctly, and the trailer brakes. I believe all 3 of those take the same fuse. So, and they're, when you go into AutoZone or somewhere to buy them, they're like $7 a fuse. And I think I got these. I think I got a box of, I want to say $25 for 7 of them. And the problem is when you go into O'Reilly's or somewhere to buy them, they usually only have one. If you buy the one and you get right down the road and it is an issue with the trailer and you blow another one, well, you know, I like having a box of them around. And another question I got the other day, someone asked me what kind of printer am I using, and this thing has been a trooper. I've been dragging it around with me for about 2 years now, and it is a HP DeskJet 3752. When I bought it, it was advertised as the world's smallest all-in-one printer, and it's done me a great job. It's kind of aggravating because it is so small when you're trying to do something big like scan or copy or something like that, but it still works great. You just load the paper in the top and hit the color button or the black and white button. Either one, hit one of these buttons and it'll make copies. Or it's kind of aggravating that it doesn't actually hold its own paper. You have to load it with paper every time, but it's not a big deal. But how small it is, it'll fit under my seat. It'll fit, you know, it'll fit everywhere but the glove box pretty much. I mean, it's just real easy to keep it out of the way, and I always put it right here behind the seat. That way if I need it, I pull over, I reach right here and get it set on the console, plug it in. The HP app I'm not a fan of. I never could get it to work right. It was just, I'm sure that there's people out there that have it mastered and they can get it to do whatever they want to do, but I've been using an app called Printer Share. I'll try to link that in the description too, if it's even still available. I've been using it for, oh my goodness, I don't even want to speculate, probably 10 years, you know. And the reason I leave links in the description, or I'm gonna try to start doing better on that, is like the fuses. I bought that box of fuses months ago. I don't remember what they cost. I just remembered that I like having 5 or 6 of them on hand, and you know, I remember they were cheaper than going into O'Reilly's, the printer. You know, that I can't tell you all the technicals about that thing. I don't know what all it does. So if you want to click on the link, look it up on Amazon, it'll tell you everything it does. It does work with the Printer Share app, though. I got it back years ago when I first got my first wireless printer. And I'm going to show you guys this trailer. This thing is a beast. It's a 3-axle cyclone. It's got the generators and the big air conditioners. I will be glad to get rid of this one. It's really working my little truck, but it's alright though. It's handling it good. I'm also, before long, I'm going to be doing a 250,000 mile review on my truck. Just anybody else looking at one, what issues I've had, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I mean, there's plenty of all of it. But yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'm gonna get out and show you guys around, and I'm gonna get on toward Cali. I'm in Klein's Corner right now. I plan on making it to Kingpin tonight. Getting up about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I like staying there at Kingpin, so I'll run in the morning, get unloaded, and come back to Kingpin, get something to eat. And if I decide to go further, I will, and you know, I can. And if not, that's a good place to stay, so it works out good for me. But yeah, I'll show you around. So that's her one thing I'm trying to focus more on, because a lot of the new guys that are starting over here, if they call, that's one of the main things they call about, is how do I operate the control panel on the fifth wheel. This is the same as in the video, the trailer that was in the start of the video. This right here is your docking lights. I did turn the master disconnect off in this one too, because there were lights on and stuff. And it just makes sure it kills all the lights. But you got to remember, when you cut the master battery disconnect off, it doesn't run your it doesn't charge your battery. And as far as I know, I think I've checked this before, if the breakaway does come out, it does still run the breakaway even without the even with the master disconnect off. The bed of my truck is an absolute mess, and I know that. That's why I did find me a toolbox at Dan's the other day. I thought it was a really good price. It is not bolted down. I just set it back there. I had to just kind of fix up my trailer plug, and I'm gonna try to fix all this up. I'm really hoping that I can make a hole in the bottom of the box and come out back here somewhere and have the plug right here and just really clean it up a lot. I don't know if I'll be able to make that happen or not, but I am excited to have a box. I just got the box, and now I'm really starting to wonder if all my junk's gonna fit in. Like I said, this thing is a monster. And usually, even on this one, that master disconnect is in that second door right there. The first door is a propane. And this is a 40-foot triaxle toy hauler. And with it having the big generators and stuff up front, it really makes a heavy load on the truck, makes it kind of jerk and jar around a lot. But I don't mind pulling them this big. I just don't like pulling them this big all the time. But yeah. And I got to put my license plate on. I always pull it off. I've had one stolen and the license plate off my truck stolen and all that. I always make sure and take my license plate off at night, or probably overkill, but anytime I'm gonna be in a parking lot for more than a few hours. There was plenty of room for this guy to make a right-hand turn and go right straight out. Instead, he spent 30 minutes trying to make a left-hand U-turn. It's crazy. I'm sitting here in Rancho Cucamonga waiting to get unloaded. And they got kind of a small lot, so you wind up in the turning lane if you get here and there's too many people in front of you. Hopefully they get us on then. You just pull on up to the front of the building, unhook, take everything off, put your paperwork in a little mailbox right there at the front door, and then pull around with these other guys waiting to get their paperwork. They did tell me on the phone though when I called that it could be a long day, but I'll feel a lot better once I get off the road and get actually in the parking lot. It's almost dark on me. I made it back to Cfarmeronyt, New Mexico. I delivered that unit and I got there at 10:30 a.m. Didn't get out of there till 4:30 p.m. I'm headed home. It's almost dark. I'm sorry if the video quality is bad. But they told me it was going to be a long wait when I got there. There's a lot of people every time I'm out there. I've been there like 3 times, and there's always a group of guys out front saying, I will never come back. To me, it's just kind of part of it. I've been doing this long enough with the 18-wheeler and stuff that, sometimes it just takes a while. If they were bringing the stuff to me, I would want to check it out good too before I received it, So it's just part of it to me. But the money breakdown on it was $42.98, $25, I think. It was for the $42.98, right? Anyway, and I used $750 in fuel, and that's enough to get me back to Amarillo. And when I get to Amarillo, I'm gonna top off again. That should be enough to get me back to my house, and then back to Indiana to get my next load. So that still puts me out at the $3,000 I need for the week. And since I put the NOx sensor in and the diesel exhaust fluid injector, I've not had any more check engine lights, so that's a good deal. I'm happy about that. Hopefully it'll stay off for a long time. and I got my toolbox. I did get it picked up. I don't know if I give you guys a shot of it or not, but it's just back there. Got my stuff, I just threw everything in just to get it in here so I could go. I'm gonna try to get it mounted and a little better and get everything lined out a little better when I get home. And I'll try to get some shots of that for the next video. And because I do have a couple things I want to try to do a little different with it, but they're just ideals. I don't know if they'll work out or not. But anyway, it is getting dark, and I still got a pretty good ride down Amarillo. So you guys take it easy, and I will see you in the next video. If you did like this video, please like, share, subscribe. It helps me out. Thank you. One of my favorite things about this job is getting to stop and take in some of the sights. This is on I-70. I believe it's in Utah. Came back across through to Denver and cut up on 76 to 80 and came back that first time. And it's just, to me, it's breathtaking out there. Being raised in Tennessee and never really spent a lot of time out west, I just love stopping and taking in the sights.